What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman back again for OddsShopper.com, bringing you the early MLB bets for Thursday, August 11th. Be sure to hit that like button. That is the thing that helps me out the most. Subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. We're trying to hit these openers as fast as we can. I think we've got a couple pretty good angles on 3 different bets for today. So, without further ado, bet number 1. First one up, I'm taking a look at the Kansas City Royals for tomorrow on the run line, getting a run and a half at home, plus 105. I want to put a unit down here. This one I just think is a little bit closer than it seems, and that's what I'm looking for. So we'll start with the offenses. Steamer has the White Sox at a 109 aggregate WRC plus. The Royals are not all that far behind at 107. Let's just call that a slight lean to the Royals after we take home field advantage. I almost said home court advantage. Home field advantage into an account. But for the most part, these are 2 equal offenses. The Royals are at home, little bit of a boost. This is where it starts to get a little bit worse for Kansas City. But per Steamer, it's not as bad as it seems. Dylan Cease on the hill for the White Sox. Obviously, big-time strikeout stuff. Projects with a 3.5 FIP. That is exceptional. Certainly well above average. White Sox bullpen trending towards above average as well. Cease prone a little bit to some walks, but I'm not going to try to paint this in any other light. Dylan Cease is really good. Zach Greinke's going for Kansas City, and the key piece here, while he does not miss bats at all, he doesn't really walk guys either, and Steamer has him as a league average pitcher. 4.36 projected FIP. Royals bullpen probably slightly better than average as well. So based on the projected FIPs via Steamer, there's not as big of a gap here pitching as I would have expected. So I have the White Sox at 4.4 runs. I've got the Royals at 3.9. That's enough to create a little bit of value. Take the run and a half at plus money right now and give yourself a little bit of additional wiggle room. If you want to take the Royals on the money line at plus 165, I think that's worth a half unit spot. But I'm going for the unit on the run line. Give Kansas City the run and a half plus 105. Next up for game number 2, we are going to Colorado. We're taking the under here in course. The line is set at 12, minus 105. There are a couple pieces here that we really need to work our way through. Obviously, this is a ballpark that increases runs. We expect a bigger total. Dakota Hudson on the hill for the Cardinals isn't very good, but that's offset by the Rockies offense not being very good. The combination of a crappy pitcher and a crappy offense leads me to a 5.2 run total for the Rockies. That's taking into account where we're playing. So they're not much better than average in this spot. The only thing that's really boosting them up is the fact that they are in course. Now, on the opposite side of this, the Cardinals offense is good, aggregate 113 WRC plus, but German Marquez is well-versed in pitching in Coors Field at this point in time. Projects for a neutral 4.2 projected FIP, misses enough bats in this spot. The Rockies bullpen isn't the best in the world, but I think Marquez is good enough. I've got the Cardinals at 5.6 runs, so I only get this total to 10.8. Even if I gave that a little bit more of a bump, maybe it would bring it down to a unit bet, but I think this looks good right now. I'm not a believer in the Rockies offense, no matter what happened in yesterday's games where they hung, I don't remember, 14 runs or something like that in the Cardinals on the first game. I think 12 is too much here. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see this come down to 11 and a half. So I want to take advantage now while it is at that 12 mark. Under 12, Cardinals and Rockies, minus 105 for a unit and a half. Now, before we close it out with that final bet, we got to talk about the offer I've got for you guys at BetMGM. You see it on the banners here. The promo code JOSHMLB, JOSHMLB, no space, all caps. Click the link in the description of this video so that you can get up to a $1,000 risk-free bet, which means if you can put $1,000 into BetMGM when you create that account, whatever bet you make first, it could be a plus 200 dog if you want it. If it hits, you're keeping it all. If it loses, they're going to set you whole and you're going to get that money right back into your account. I think that's a pretty tasty deal. But if you don't have $1,000, don't fret. If you've got 100, that first bet, risk-free up to 100. Even if you got 50, risk-free up to 50. Your first bet's going to be risk-free up to $1,000 so long as you click that link in the description and use that promo code JOSHMLB when you're signing up at BetMGM. We'll see if this one moves any further, but Just in general, I love this line. We're going over in the Chicago Cubs Cincinnati Reds game. The line is set at 9, and you can get that at even money, plus 100. Drew Smyly is pitching for the Cubs. Per Steamer, he's a league average pitcher right now. The Cubs bullpen definitely below average. At the very least, I can't say that this is a good pitching spot for Chicago. Now, the Reds offense is legitimately garbage. They project for a 91 WRC plus. However, this ballpark hits just like Coors. 123 park factor for runs over the past 3 years. That's via StatCast. Monster park factors for home runs, both righty and lefty. There's a little bit of power in the Cincinnati lineup. I ultimately get the Reds to a 5-run total here. That's even with them being terrible. Now, the Cubs offense, much better than Cincinnati's. More power, for sure. 107 WRC plus in the aggregate from Steamer. Now, Nick Lodolo going for the Reds, better pitcher than Drew Smyly, but sort of new to it. 3.53 projected FIP, though, out of Steamer. But again, the Reds bullpen, not all that interesting. I've got the Cubs line at 5.2. That's a 10-run total in my eyes, and we've got a line at 9. I want to take that plus money while I can get it right now. I think the ballpark, I think the month that we're playing this, it is going to be hot in Cincinnati. All of that plays up to offense. Drew Smyly is not a pitcher that I am super worried about locking down even a garbage Reds team. And Nick Lodolo's young. We got to figure out what he's actually got. So take the over, plus 100, a unit and a half on the Cubs Reds total. I love it. That'll do it, folks. Another one in the books. We're taking a look at those openers, attacking as fast as we possibly can. Do not sleep on this. By getting the best line you can as early as possible, you are going to make yourself more profitable in sports betting. Bar none, no way around it. This is just going to put more money into your bankroll, and it's going to keep it out of the hands of the sports books. That's what we're all looking for, right?